Hi there. Today we're going to play Zendo. And who better to play it with than the inventor of the game, Kory Heath.
Yay! Hi, Kory.
Hi.
Good to see you again. How does this game work?
Well, Zendo is a game in which the students are attempting to figure out a secret rule that the teacher has come up with. The teacher is not a player, the teacher is a moderator, attempting to make a fun game for the rest of the students. The teacher comes up with a rule about configurations of pieces. There will be configurations of pieces out on the board, and some groups will be marked with a white stone, some groups will be marked with a black stone. The rule might be something like, for instance, a group that has an even number of pieces has a white stone. Any group that has an odd number of pieces has a black stone. That's an example of the kind of rule that a teacher will come up with that the students are trying to figure out. It's the goal of the game. Every game is a different rule come up with by the teacher, and the students get the fun of exploring and trying to figure out what that rule is.
Sounds great.
Let's play.
Let's play. All right.
So I'm going to come up with,
Not that even odd rule, because we know
No.
that one. Pick a different one.
correct.
So, you think up a rule?
I have a rule.
You have a rule.
I begin the game by building two groups, one that has a white stone and one that has a black stone. So you immediately see some example of this rule.
Okay. And then who goes first? Is there a rule for that?
The most enlightened student? No.
Well,
I don't know.
I'll claim that I'm the most enlightened.
Okay.
So, but first you have to mark each of these so we know what the initial two are doing. Okay.
So this group of pieces follows my rule. This group does not follow my rule.
Okay.
And you get the first turn.
So I will build a. I'm gonna try this.
Now after you
Tell me
build
the
a
answer.
group-
Does that get the white stone or the black stone?
Right, if a student just asks me to tell, I just mark it with a white stone or a black stone according to my rule.
Okay. All right. So Kristen now builds a group.
Okay. So I'm going to say this and this.
And we're gonna want to pull some of these back as we start having more groups on the table.
And I'm going to say let's guess.
Okay.
Ah.
Well,
So we have to actually pass out some stones.
everybody gets a
Every
black stone
student
and a
has
white
pair of
stone.
stones. And now all of the students in the game actually guess whether they think my rule would say this has a white stone or a black stone. Reveal. Everyone reveals at the same time. You've both guessed that it has a black stone, and you're correct.
Oh, cool.
So everyone who guessed correctly gets one guessing stone, and you can use your guessing stone to guess what you think the rule is.
Okay. Well, I can come up with a guess. So I'm going to spend my stone, and I'm going to say that there has to be both a green and a red piece.
Ah, so that is a good guess. It seems to fit the information we have on the table. It is not the correct answer, and I now need to show you an example of why it's not the correct answer.
So she gives up her guessing stone
Right, I spent my stone.
and gains an example for it.
So your guess was that if it contains a green and a red piece,
It has to contain a green and a red piece.
it would have a white stone.
Mhm.
And if it doesn't contain, now would you say at least one green piece and at least one red piece? This is part of my job as the teacher,
Right.
to make sure I understand the exact
Exactly,
guess.
I wasn't so specific, but
Mhm.
sure, I will say it must contain one green and one red.
Exactly one
Mhm.
green and exactly one red.
Right.
We have two examples of that. They're both marked with a white stone, two that do not fit that rule. So it all works on the table. So I'm going to show you, now I can either show you a group that does not follow your rule, but my rule says has a white stone, or a group that does follow your rule, but that my rule says has a black stone. So,
Right, both will disprove it.
yes. So for instance, I can show you that this group with a single piece, your rule would say that should get a black stone, where my rule says
Mm.
it has a white stone.
All right.
Now, if you had more guessing stones,
Right, but I don't.
you could now spend another to immediately take another guess.
So it goes to your turn since I'm out of guessing stones.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have a stone to guess.
I
with,
do.
But first you get to build one.
Now,
and learn
can
more
I,
information.
or can I spend my guess first and then
You
build a group and have another guess on
Good
that?
question.
Because
Good thing we have
the
the
turn
inventor
order
here to
is
answer.
that you always build a
you always
group
have to
first.
build. Because if I could guess, that would inform my build choice. But if that's how it works, that's how it works. So, well, let's just see what happens if we do a koan, a grouping that looks like that. And I'm going to say, let's guess.
Let's guess.
Let's guess.
That means you both decide what you think it is and reveal. You're both correct.
Okay.
That group.
So I'm going to guess.
And you both.
And we
another
both get a
guessing
stone, and now I can guess twice on my turn. So I'm going to guess that it's simpler than that. It gets a white stone if it has a green piece.
That is correct. And Andy
Hey.
wins.
Well done.
There
That
you
was
go.
going to be my
Thank
next
you.
guess.
Well, I know,
was
but
guessing
this
stone.
is why it's actually better to
not guess
play
too
it
quickly.
safe, and
Yeah.
until you have a couple of guessing stones, you can do a couple of guesses in one turn.
Yeah.
But guess barrage, as I believe it is referred to. All right.
Cool.
Well, that's how you play Zendo. Thanks for teaching us, Kory.
You're welcome.